Hello, my name is Richard Barnett, but I go by Barney. I have owned the High Grove Happenings newspaper for over 25 years. It provides free local news to our small community of about 4,000 people, and I have volunteered for 4 different Riverside County supervisors over the last 27 years. High Grove was the first unincorporated community in Riverside County to approve paying extra for its own deputy sheriff assigned exclusively to the small area known as CSA 126, which stands for County Service Area. The annual fee of $120 per parcel was paid with our property tax bills, and it worked very well for many years. Years later, we discovered that the sheriff car we saw in our community was not the exclusive deputy sheriff that we were paying for. The High Grove deputy's position was eliminated by Riverside County and the Sheriff Department, but the High Grove property owners were not notified that the deputy had been eliminated. Previously, 2 ballots, one in 1992 and another in 1997, were mailed out by Riverside County to the property owners who approved the self-imposed assessment, but the High Grove deputy sheriff was eliminated without any written notification or any other ballot to the property owners. That was over 8 years ago, and today the High Grove property owners are still paying for the deputy sheriff that was eliminated on December 30th, 2009. At a CSA 126 High Grove public meeting on February 12, 1992, the $10 per month assessment was broke down to $7.96 for sheriff and $2.04 for park and recreation, and was attended by Riverside County Administrator Doug Vieira and Riverside County Deputy Sheriff Chuck Ortiz. The front of the 1992 ballot shows that the Riverside County Administration mailed out ballots to the High Grove property owners. The back of the ballot shows the actual ballot that showed in 1992 High Grove property owners were mailed out a ballot by Riverside County Administration, and High Grove property owners voted to assess themselves $120 per year per parcel for one deputy exclusive to High Grove CSA 126 east of the I-215 freeway. In 1997, another ballot was needed due to Proposition 218 to reaffirm that High Grove still wanted their own deputy sheriff. Before the 97 ballot, Riverside County Council printed what they called an impartial analysis that stated, and I quote, "The tax will be retained in the CSA 126 fund to be used only for purposes of continuing extended sheriff and park and recreation services and improvements." End quote. The 97 ballot passed by 75.8% under Supervisor Tom Mullen's jurisdiction, and this worked well for several more years. The $120 always remained the same regardless of the size of the parcel, but sheriff cost increased each year. The CSA 126 fund could not keep up with the increases, but when the large parcels of orange groves were divided up into the small parcels for new homes, we counted on each of the 1,409 new homes in Spring Mountain Ranch to provide additional income to cover the rising sheriff costs. On November 9, 2009, Supervisor Ashley, the Sheriff Department, and the Riverside County EDA made an agreement prior to the exclusive High Grove sheriff being eliminated. The agreement provided for additional patrols in High Grove, but the agreement said the cost of the patrols would not come out of the CSA 126 funds. The agreement between Riverside County Administration Supervisor Ashley and the captain of the Sheriff Department stated, and I quote, 3 deputies would be provided to High Grove and be paid for out of the general fund, unquote. Then, under Supervisor Tavaloni's jurisdiction on October 19, 2016, and in violation of the Supervisor Ashley Agreement, the Riverside County EDA admitted taking $35,000 from the CSA fund for the patrols instead of paying for the patrols out of the general fund. And in addition, the letter from the Sheriff's Department on February 9, 2017 verifies that not only was $35,000 received for fiscal year 16-17, but another $25,000 had been previously received for fiscal year 15-16 for a total of $60,000 that was received by the Sheriff Department for the patrols. This is in violation of the Ashley Agreement that included Supervisor Ashley, CSA Administration, Economic Development Agency, and the Sheriff's Department. On August 5th, 2015, while acting as the High Grove Municipal Advisory Council Chairman, I hand-delivered a request to Supervisor John Tavaloni for an audit of the CSA 126 funds. The audit was received back from Riverside County 5 months later on January 12, 2016, but failed to answer many important questions. But the report did state that the money for the patrols would be paid for out of Riverside County's general fund. And as chairman of the High Grove MAC, I continued to ask a lot of questions about the CSA 126 funds and High Grove's exclusive sheriff. And as chairman of the High Grove Municipal Advisory Council, I continued to ask a lot of questions about the CSA 126 funds and High Grove's exclusive sheriff. On April 11, 2017, Supervisor Tavaloni held a public hearing to eliminate the entire 5-member volunteers on the High Grove Municipal Advisory Council in CSA 126. But prior to the public hearing, feeling that I was Tavaloni's main problem, I resigned and asked Supervisor Tavaloni to allow the High Grove MAC to continue on without me. But in spite of 12 High Grove residents and 6 speakers, Supervisor Tavaloni silenced the entire collective voice of the High Grove MAC. Supervisor Tavaloni eliminated the 22-year-old collective voice of the High Grove people when he eliminated the High Grove Municipal Advisory Council. The High Grove community meetings were held for 15 years at the Norton Young Love Community Center when it opened on September 28, 1996. Then the community meeting was moved to the new High Grove Library when it opened on March 19, 2011. But no community meetings have been held at the High Grove Library since Supervisor Tavaloni eliminated the High Grove MAC over 1 year ago.
I don't need a MAC. I'm going to disband the MAC. The MAC got out of hand because of the leadership on the MAC. This was Barney Barnett's show. I'm sorry, Barney, this was your show. This was about the Highgrove Metrolink station and the Highgrove Happenings newspaper. Had nothing to do with the city of or the community of Highgrove of 35 to 4,000 people. And when I found out that through a very reliable source that Barney, you were trying to change the minutes to suit you of the meetings, that you were going to the grand jury to try to use MAC funds to sue the county, or to hire an attorney to sue the county. So I finally said enough is enough.
All property owners within the CSA 126 boundaries are supposed to be paying the CSA 126 special assessment of $120 per parcel regardless of the size of the parcel. This includes residential, commercial, and even vacant property, but new property owners in the new Spring Mountain Ranch development of 1,409 homes and the new D.R. Horton homes of 105 new homes are paying many different amounts. Here's a copy of my tax bill showing CSA 126 as $120, but tax bills from Spring Mountain Ranch property owners show the CSA 126 as much as $2,176.92. And the D.R. Horton tax bills show they are being charged $633.30 for CSA 126. If all parcels are supposed to be paying $120, why are the new homes paying more for the same CSA 126 assessment? Older Highgrove properties seem to be consistent with the correct $120 annual charge. And after looking at many tax bills from the new homes on February 21st, 2018, I asked Riverside County, what does the annual $120 CSA 126 assessment pay for, and are all the parcels paying the same amount? The answer from Riverside County was correct. They stated, and I quote, the parcels that were voted on this assessment pay for park and recreation and extended sheriff. Developments that came in after the vote are assessed for these same services as well. So that was a correct answer. We need to follow the money. Highgrove property owners need to know what Riverside County has done with their money that was collected for over 8 years after the sheriff was eliminated. If any CSA 126 money was given to the sheriff department after December 30th, 2009, that was a direct violation of Riverside County Council's own instructions in their impartial analysis that states if the fee is not used for these two specific purposes, the money would be retained in the CSA 126 fund. But was the money retained or was it used outside of Highgrove? Riverside County needs to return the money to the property owners who have paid extra taxes for over 8 years for a service that was eliminated, and the $60,000 needs to be returned to the CSA 126 account, and the money should be deducted from the Riverside County's general fund as instructed. On September 1st, 2017, I filed a formal complaint requesting the grand jury to investigate these proceedings, and on November 14, 2017, I testified under oath before the Riverside County grand jury for 2 hours and I had written documentation with me to verify all of my statements. Highgrove still has the freedom of the press through our local newspaper. But this important information needs to be covered by other media sources instead of just our local small newspaper. The purpose of this DVD is to ask for additional media coverage about this story and help expose these improper and illegal actions by Riverside County. The public needs to know that Riverside County has taken advantage of this small community of Highgrove, and the newspaper and television media need to help us by exposing this injustice. My name is R.A. Barney Barnett. I am the editor of the Highgrove Happenings newspaper at 474 Prospect Avenue, Highgrove, California 92507. Phone number 951 683 4994. Email is highgrovenews@roadrunner.com, and our website is www.highgrovehappenings.net. Thank you.